Hi. Hi. So, my name is Rachel Piocchini, and I'm a person in long term recovery. I've never used the computer, this setting or video camera on my computer before, so kind of bear with me. It's a little new to me, it's a little foreign, and so I'm really excited. I'm going to be looking all over the place, and I'm super visual, and I'm really talk a lot with my hands, so kind of forgive me. But I'm really excited for the opportunity to do this little video for National Recovery Month. I'm actually kind of sad, like the rest of us, with all the different, and this will kind of get into my whole story and why community connection is so important to me. But along with everybody else in the whole entire world, we've had to not be able to go and do a lot of our favorite events. And so September, as I'm scrolling through my Facebook the last couple of days, and I'm just going to kind of jump right into it. I'm a talker. I have a whole lot to say, and I'm super excited about recovery, and I'm really passionate about connection, and I'm really passionate about just being a voice and an advocate for somebody in recovery. So I'll probably go all over the place. But I have a lot of passion. I have a lot of great things that I want to say. So just kind of bear with me. So, International Recovery Month is one of my favorite months, and I'm just going to touch a little tiny bit on my story. For any of you guys, anybody who goes to our Thursday night meetings, it's actually funny because the whole entire first part of our meeting, I say, and I promise I'm going to try to only talk for 15 minutes. So Mary Jo sent me the invite to share with you guys a little bit about community connection, and I'm going to try to keep it short into 15 minutes. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. So as I'm scrolling through my Facebook today, one of the greatest pictures that I have, and I'll probably maybe send it in and see if there's some we could do with it, or I'll post it on my Facebook. But a part of my story is, I'm a really grateful person in long-term recovery. I am celebrating right now along with a lot of really great, amazing people. Which is where kind of connection starts to really get into this. I'm gratefully celebrating 3 years in recovery. For me, I've chosen abstinence, and that's what works for me, but I definitely support all pathways to recovery. And so as I scroll through my Facebook today, the very first recovery days that I went to was September of 2017. And I think it was September 7th or 8th. And I have a picture of me, and this was when I had just found recovery. And so a big part of my story was this particular weekend, which Mary Jo and all you guys from sorry you don't know this, but Tiffany does. I've just gotten out of jail. It was October 31st of 2017 when I had been released from the Utah County Jail, and I made a choice to get better and to never turn my head back. And I had a spiritual awakening in jail, which many people have. And I got my first 30 days of my sobriety today was through being incarcerated. And I was one of those people who, and I'm not going to get too into my story on here, but I just kind of want to give you guys an idea of why connection is so important to me with the community. So when I had been released from jail, a really good friend of mine I tried a couple of different times prior to this one that were failed attempts, and I wasn't able to get sober because I wasn't able to let go of my old friends, because, having that connection and those ties to me were really important, because I didn't want to give everything up, and I wasn't willing to. So when I had gotten out of jail this time, my parents had allowed me, my mother had allowed me to come back to her home, and we had built a relationship. We built a connection that we didn't have for years. I mean, I wasn't even welcome at my parents' house. If I came, everybody held their purses, and it was just really uncomfortable. And, and I cried, and nobody really wanted me there. So I lost all types of connection, first of all, with my family. This particular weekend, and I believe because the picture showed up in my Facebook today, Recovery Day of 2017 must have been September 8th. So I'm kind of excited to be doing this video today, just because this was a monumental moment of my life. I saw for the first time in my life a bunch of people who had gotten together to celebrate recovery and to love each other and to be around each other and to connect with one another. And that was the beginning of my recovery. I never looked back. I mean, that was my first time ever going out with a whole bunch of sober people. And a really close friend of mine was like, dude, I've done this for like 2-3 months now. And if I could do it, you could. And I'm really grateful because of my connection with, and I'll just put it out there, Tiffany. You know, a lot of people know because Tiffany Nacarata was a really good friend of mine in the past, but because of her getting sober, I was able to get clean and sober. So I'm just super grateful, one, for that connection. After recovery days, I was really scared. I was scared of the whole entire world. And so I had kind of locked myself into my house, and I lost all types of human connection, which is really unhealthy, actually. And I don't advise anybody to do that, but it worked for me because I was able to, this is kind of got me like half light, half dark. But so I hid in my house for the first 14 months of my recovery. And I'd done a lot of social media, and I started to interact with people, and I started to just become friends with all these people on Facebook, but I wasn't having human connection. And I realized something in my life was missing, and I couldn't hide. The only times I literally left my house was to take my kids to school if they missed the bus, or to go grocery shopping. And I had figured out, I went and did online schooling. I was doing like online recovery. And I realized like, I've got to get out of my shell and I've got to do something different, which was when I realized that, and I'd watched that TED Talk, you know, that one that everybody is familiar with, you know, the opposite of addiction is connection. And I realized that I can't stay hidden in my house for the rest of my life. And so that was when I decided that I was going to get out and be a part of my community, and I was going to make a difference because I was helping a lot of people online and over the internet and helping kind of get them into treatment all over the United States. And it was like, why am I doing that when I could do that right here in my own community and I could build connection here? And so that's what I did. And so for the past, you know, I'm so grateful when I get to say that I get to have, you know, that I'm blessed to have 3 years of continuous sobriety and recovery, because I learned that I needed to get out into the community. I needed to start building connections with people, and I needed to start doing something different. Because of that, I've gotten to make some really, you know, when I was using, I had a lot of really bad, unhealthy friends and people who, you know, we think care about us, but they really don't. And I never felt okay. And since I found recovery, and since I found community, and since I found connections with all these beautiful people who all wanted the same thing, which was to get better, my life is completely changed. I've been able to build connections with some really amazing people. We have put together a really amazing group. I'm not trying to use this video to kind of plug our group, but I'm going to try to kind of steer away from that. But I will talk a little bit about that in a minute. But because of being able to be involved in the community and to be an advocate and to be somebody who is heavily out doing things with the community and being a part of the community and helping people, I've been able to become the person that I am today. And I couldn't be more grateful than that. I've made a lot of really beautiful connections in recovery. Every year we get to go and do recovery days and these are just some of the connections that we've built. You know, there's a lot of really great groups out there that are doing wonderful things for the community and helping to bring people together and helping to, you know, one of the things that keeps me sober today, or keeps me clean, or, you know, keeps me in my recovery, is doing service. And, you know, a lot of people have heard that you can't keep what you have unless you give it away. And I took that to a whole new level. Okay, so I have found a way to be able to be of service and to build up the community and to use my voice, and something that I'm really, you know, I'm from New York. I have a very strong personality. I'm very outgoing, which I'm also an introvert, which you'd never believe. But I've learned that the only way that we can heal or at least that I could heal, is to be out and to be of service. And so we put this group together, which is, I got to be a part of different groups until we decided to start this group, Beyond Addiction Mosaic, BAM. A lot of you guys are probably familiar with it. And we're just really based off of service. We're a community, we're a recovery community based on giving back and being involved and immersed into the community and with helping other people. And by what I mean by that is we go out, we do a lot of service projects, connecting with other people, in recovery, and connecting with other treatment centers, and connecting with other recovery communities, and connecting with the people on the streets, and connecting with our unsheltered people, have all been different ways for me to grow and for me to find who I am and to learn who I am and to be comfortable with the person that I am today. I've built some really, a lot of people, when they hear me share my story or they hear me kind of speak, they get to hear me say, like, 5 years ago, the people who would have sat at my table, when I would call my group of friends together, the people that would sit at my table, I didn't have anybody that you would look at my table and be like, I want to sit at that table. My table was the kind of table that everybody was like, don't go to that table. Stay as far away from that table as you can. You don't want to be at that table. If you go to that table, by the time you leave, you are not even going to you have no jewelry, you'll have no purse, you have no phone, your watch will be gone. Everything that you own is going to be gone, and you won't even know what happened in a blink of an eye. Everything will be gone. And that's the table I sat at. And today, because of community connection, I could proudly say I sit at a table filled with most of my, I've connected more with women, and I love that because I always was somebody who I chose to have more relationships with men, and so my table used to be filled more with men than women, but today I sit at a table filled with women and filled with strong, powerful women in our community, and people who I look up to and who I admire, and people that make me want to be stronger and make me want to be like them. And so that's really beautiful. Some of the most beautiful connections that I've made are people that I never would have believed. I was watching Mary Jo's video earlier, and one of the things that she talked about, her and Darlene, was how they connect through overdose awareness as well, and going down to the Capitol. And one of the most beautiful connections that I've made in recovery has been the moms from the Addicts Mom, and Amber and Amber Baum and Tina College, and I mean the list goes on of all the beautiful, amazing women who are part of the Addicts Mom, who are also big advocates for recovery, just for different reasons. And so there's a whole bunch of different kinds of connections that I've made in recovery, and I'm not really sure this is quite where we wanted to go, but it's where it's going. I wouldn't be who I am today without community connection. I wouldn't be who I am today without being surrounded by other like-minded individuals, and without having these other strong people who also believe in being a part of our community and bringing it together and making this community a recovery safe community. And so that's kind of just what I wanted to share. I don't believe that we can stay recovered for a long time, for long lengths of time, if we don't build community, and if we don't build fellowship, and if we don't do things to get out of our comfort zone and surround ourselves with like-minded people who also want the same things. And so because I made a choice to put away all of the people in my life that weren't bringing me up and weren't positive influences to me, and change my circle to be with people who fill my cup, I've been able to create a completely, totally different lifestyle. And so this is 15 minutes. I promised myself I wouldn't go over that. I thought for sure that I was only going to get 5 minutes and not know what to say. But I just want to kind of put out there for anybody who gets to this and kind of gets to the last this part. I want to share with you again that the opposite of addiction is connection. And if you aren't willing to put yourself out there and to get to know recovery communities and go out there and fellowship and get yourself uncomfortable for a little while and do service projects and be out there, and some people don't want to use their voice, and some people don't want to recover out loud and not be, some people want to be anonymous, and other people like myself have chosen to stand up tall, use my voice, and be loud, because there's a lot of people dying out there today, and there's a lot of, families who are mourning their loved ones, and the list goes on to all the people who are losing people day in and day out. And so connection with the community and being out there and not being afraid to talk to other people and not being afraid to get outside, get out of your comfort zone, and not be afraid to go out and be of service has completely changed my life, and it's changed most of the people in our organization's life who are out there going and being of service. I didn't want to really do a plug of any type like that, because I think there's so many beautiful recovery communities out there who are doing beautiful things and doing service. I mean, we've got connection with Soap to Hope and Addicts to Advocate, Addicted We Stand. We've got USARA, there's Recovery Soldiers, there's Addict to Advocate, there's Recovery Vibe. The list goes on of great people who are out there. Utah Harm Reduction. There's just a lot of really great people out there doing good stuff and bringing each other together through community, through love, through service, and just doing really good stuff. So I just wanted to kind of go on a little tangent with that and share that little piece of my story and what connection in the community has done for me. My name is Rachel Piocchini. Again, I'm a person in Piocchini. You got to get the hand up there. And I'm a person in long-term recovery. And for those of you who are looking for community and are looking for service, and if you haven't, if you're looking to be involved in different community projects or social events or anything, I invite you to come onto our page, Beyond Addiction Mosaic. It's a group, and come and join us and kind of see what we're about. We have a lot of really great things that we've been able to do and that we're continuing to do, and we'd love to have your support, along with just give you a way to connect and to be a part of the community as well. Thank you.